To get access to this tool and any of our other tools that you might use in your real estate practice, visit leasix.agency/ultimate guide to register today. Don't forget that you can also subscribe to this channel to stay up to date on our latest tutorials and overviews of how AI can help you grow your real estate business and maximize the value of your time. So today I want to just spend some time answering a question about how to evaluate technology and tools inside of whatever it is you do in real estate. If you're an agent, if you're a broker, association directors, everybody has 900 separate tools that they can use. And of course, if you ask the people selling them, they're all the best tools on the market. And look, we're no different, right? We have our white labeled version of Go High Level, and I'm an evangelist of the system. I believe it is the best single point system that you can use to build a small business of any type, but especially for real estate professionals. But this isn't about selling you why I think Go High Level is a good platform. This is about giving you some guidance that you can use to evaluate those tools that you use inside of your practice, right? And the first one has to be you have to understand your specific needs. So I've asked this question inside of Perplexity, and you can see it right here in front of you. And in assessing your specific needs, this means focusing on the support in the systems that your business plan must have to be executed successfully. Now, every successful business has three core components. You have suitable technology, you have the right people around you, and you have efficient, effective processes. So the suitable technology part is oftentimes something people get hung up on because they think the newest technology is the most suitable, and that's not the case. Or the cheapest technology is the most suitable, and that's not the case. What you need to focus on here is what are your business goals? What do your processes need? What do you personally need in order for your software to be successful? So this is a great article from Physician on Fire that will give you an idea of how it is that you can choose that best software. And when you read through the article, it discusses what type of programs there are, and it gives you 6 tips of what you can use to identify that suitability. Everything from talking about functions to usability to what you can integrate into your processes, which is another way of saying workflow and whatnot. So it's a great article, which you can find a link to in the description below to give you some guidance as to what you can do to answer that first point here, that first tip to assess your specific needs. Remember, suitability is the key. It isn't cost, it isn't newness, it isn't bells and whistles. Stop chasing shiny objects. Find out what you need and find out what fits that best. Okay, the second tip here is usability and integration. And this is one of the reasons why it is I love Go High Level so much, is because it is so simple and easy to use, even though it has so many more features than most people would actually use on a regular basis. It isn't hard to find them. It isn't hard to learn how to use them. And it's pretty intuitive when you navigate around that particular interface. That next step below of usability and integration has to be influenced by what is valuable. And that is ultimately the discussion here that you have to have with yourself, is what you consider to be valuable and useful for your particular application. The third consideration that you can see here, scalability and long-term value. And this is something that is so often misunderstood. More often than not, people look at their initial business plans, and even if they've been in the industry for a very long time, they look at things like value as what is the least costly. And so oftentimes they will find things that are free to use, and it doesn't give them an opportunity to scale their business, because free sometimes can better be interpreted as freemium, meaning you get a base model of what it is that you're using, but if you want more and if you want to scale, that's where these platforms start to really make their money, because they know that that entry point offer that they give you of having a free service is nowhere near what it is that that system needs for you. So you have to combine that need for free with that need to grow your business in the long term. And this is really a struggle for so many people, because they're not thinking about that long-term value and they're not thinking about that scalability. So how do you answer that question? Well, you can take the route that we've done, which I've harped on so many times, but we've just invested fully in Go High Level because we have every feature that we need, and we don't necessarily have to pay more for the features. As an agency account holder, we are able to essentially cover our costs by selling subscriptions to other people. And so it answers for us that question of long-term value and scalability, because for us it's much better than a break even. We actually make money off of the subscriptions that we sell to clients, either through a combination of services or through just a simple subscription. But the other option is, you can use those freemium services and those freemium platforms right now, but you have to have clear, achievable goals and clear, identifiable steps that you take to scale your business, and what each step of that scale means in terms of the resources that you have to commit. So in other words, if you have a business in which you are managing team members and managing training, does your CRM provide you the capability to scale that portion of your business while at the same time being able to service clients if they need a property? Or if you're a brokerage, does having a free or low-cost system give you the ability to go out and actually recruit better agents and train them and onboard them? That doesn't give you a business that you can scale. You may have more agents. Those agents may be doing more transactions. But on the same token, you may be creating more problems for yourself because those agents don't have the resources they need to succeed. Of course, that's from a broker's perspective. The point of all of this being, if you look at value and scalability on the front end like we have, you'll end up paying a good chunk of change, but that good chunk of change is an investment that allows you to scale. Or if you follow the model that others have by going free and then moving into a premium model, that's perfectly legitimate, but just understand what each step of that scale looks like and what resources are necessary in order to find success. If you don't, that usability, those integrations, those specific needs that you have just won't be answered. Because remember, long term, your needs will change. Your needs will need to be adapted to in order to successfully grow your business. And the fourth one, and this is really kind of a pre-requirement for anything, and that of course is data security, privacy, and the ability to give people the option to opt out, to protect their own data. So in many cases, what you want to make sure that you're using with your technology platforms is a best practices process of evaluating your data security requirements and privacy requirements. In many cases now, in order to be able to send marketing messages, in almost all cases, you're going to need to go through A2P verification. That is application to person text messaging. So using a platform like Go High Level or Trailblazer or Tatango or any of these other platforms that send text messages, you have to go through a process of validating your use of that system for proper and good reasons, for proper and good organizations. These systems that you use, you need to understand what they do to help you meet those data security and privacy requirements. Obviously, with almost every email program out there, you have very robust methods to opt out, to cleanse your data, and to protect the privacy of the people that you are sending information to. Don't be afraid to overshoot what is required here as well. In other words, if the law in the CAN-SPAM Act says that you need certain requirements in your email, don't be afraid to go above that and be very clear with people about what type of control they have on the information that you use. And the platform that you use should make a very robust effort with you to protect those sources of information. But suppose you're using a WordPress site for your agency website, or if you're a broker and you use WordPress. You have to go through the process of ensuring that there are protections on the back end of WordPress to guarantee that data is not being leaked. You have to ensure that security protocols are set up for each of the plugins that you use and the templates that you use. And that is just one example of this. Again, with email platforms, you want to make sure that they follow every requirement and are very aggressive about following requirements for the CAN-SPAM Act. Because what you'll find is that the industry standards themselves will go above and beyond that. Just this past year in 2024, in March of 2024, Google and Yahoo really implemented some aggressive email filtering that a lot of people had to adapt to in order to send effective email marketing. So these 4 steps in evaluating your technology needs are ways that you can start to plan out your real estate business. Again, I will tell you that the worst question that you can ask somebody is, how low can I pay? How little can I pay? Because you're just really asking for many of these particular points of evaluation to be ignored. You're ignoring them yourself. You're asking them to ignore some of these, even if you're not doing it consciously, just by that simple question. Now, that doesn't mean that you should just go out and spend on the fanciest and best tools on the market that cost more than anything else. You want to make sure that what you spend money on adds value. And that means, from a business perspective, helps you run a profitable business, and from your personal perspective, how to maximize the value of your time. In other words, if you're spending 8 hours a day to earn $100, does the technology that you choose help you earn $100 in 4 hours or 2 hours or even 1? That's the point of all of this. And in many cases, these simple evaluation steps are people don't go through them. People just look at it and say, what's neat, what's nice, what's cool, and what's cheap. And that is the quickest way to get yourself in trouble.